All right. All right, there we go. So sorry about that. Yeah, I definitely tried to start the stream a bit sooner, but there were issues with the webcam. But yeah, I'm finally live. There's a bit of lag, but I mean, I just have to live with that. But yes, we are here to live stream the season finale to Survivor 42. Again, I wasn't initially planning to do this, but like I decided in the last minute to put this together. And I did this a couple weeks ago for the BB Can finale. That was something. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, I mean, admittedly, this is probably going to be a bit more straightforward than that. I mean, I have a pretty good idea of how this is going to go. I mean, considering that it is Survivor and considering that there's like Edgic to consider, like BB Can, and really Big Brother in general is sort of a wild goose chase, if you know what I mean. But there's that. So yeah, I mean, I'll just be here to like you guys are free to like post stuff in here. Like, I mean, I can talk about whatever as we watch this finale. The one thing I ask is don't post spoilers. I know those have been out there. And I haven't I've tried not to be spoiled myself. But yeah, I mean, just out of a courtesy thing, like don't post any spoilers. Hopefully some people will come on. Like I know there are some people I know like there are some people that were on like earlier. I don't know, might have scared them off with some technical difficulties, but yeah, I should be here. And also the means of me watching this should be a bit better than what it was for BB Can because BB Can, well, I had to rely on less stable means. I'll just say that much. But this, like, I mean, I literally just have my phone, like it's hooked up to like my cable and stuff, so like I can easily just watch it on there without too much difficulty. And just like the last time, again, this can be very casual. Probably, I'm not gonna take myself too seriously here. Yeah, and we'll just see what happens. Uh, hey Ingo. Is it Ingo or Ingo? I'm not too sure. Yeah, I'm glad you can make it to the live stream here. Yeah, I don't really know how many people are going to show up to this. The BB Can one surprisingly had a good showing, or at least good for what I was expecting for this. I mean, who knows? It might be the same. Could be more. Could be less too. So yeah. But anyway, we got. I was hoping to start a little sooner so I could give some general thoughts. Oh, you'll try to watch the finale. Yeah, I mean, like, do what you can. Yeah, do what you can, and like, yeah, it'd be great. Like if we could, like, just hang out or something. So I guess like we have like 10 minutes before the show starts. So yeah, I'll just give my brief thoughts coming in. I mean, obviously, I already did my power rankings. I did my jury scenarios, which, by the way, I should probably have up so that we can compare. Um, but yeah, if you watch those videos, you should know that I think Marianne's got this. I mean, she is by far the front runner in the Edgic. She's really the only one that realistically has a shot of winning. I mean, she has a storyline. Like she has like everything that you would look for in a winner. Whereas I feel like everyone else has been severely undermined in some way or another. I mean, Lindsay like was okay. I mean, Lindsay probably has the second best edit out of anyone here, but like even then, like she's had like some pretty bad dry spells, especially in the pre-merge. And in general, I feel like she is being primed to be like taken out in fifth. Like I feel like she is probably going to be seen as the biggest threat. Probably is going to be seen as aligned with like the old like Taku Four, like sort of Omer's right hand man. Probably going to be voted out if she loses immunity here, or even like like even if she like wins final five immunity, like I could see her losing to fire too, especially if she's against Jonathan. So there's that. Oh, look, some more people are showing up. Hello. So yeah, there's Lindsay. Mike. man, like I was so high on Mike earlier in the season, but like this post merge has been so bad for him magically. There was a really funny meme on the Survivor subreddit. It was literally like it was like a picture of Squidward with like a really like puckered in face. It was so funny. And it was like me in a backstabbing competition when my opponent is Mike after giving his word, which is like it's random. It's like how would a backstabbing competition even work? I don't know. I That was just a really funny meme I saw. I think either Lindsay or Jonathan is gone at 5. I can't see both in the reaching Final Four. Yeah, exactly. So pretty much, I think what's going to happen is whichever one doesn't win immunity goes home. If neither of them win immunity, I could see them voting out Lindsay or maybe Jonathan. I mean, they could vote out Jonathan, but I mean, if we're just going by the edit, I would lean towards Lindsay because Lindsay's edit is definitely more in line with what we saw with Ricard in 41, where again, pretty middling content for the most part, got undermined in certain points, but I think is probably going to be seen as the biggest threat coming into this finale. So I would assume Lindsay would be voted out over Jonathan if neither of them won immunity. But I think more than likely one of them will win immunity. And if that's the case, then the other person will be voted out, like pure and simple. But yeah, like I'd be very shocked if they both got the 4. So yeah, Mike's been a mess. And I feel like he is gonna get the final tribal. I think he's gonna be like berated by like Chanel and pretty much everyone that he's given his word to. I mean, it's all. I feel like the reason why they highlighted that so much in the edit is so that they can that can come back in final tribal and really bite him. So I feel like that'll be a factor. I mean, Romeo's Romeo. I mean, yikes. Very bad pre-merge. I mean, very weird storyline of him wanting to prop up like a female winner. Like, and obviously we thought at the time that it was going to be Drea that he was going to be propping up, but it seems like as of late, it seems like Marianne is the person that he's been propping up. I mean, we obviously got that scene of them like a couple episodes ago where like they were sitting on the beach and they were talking about being underdogs together. So I feel like, and plus he was like sort of a part of the plan. I mean, to blindside Omer. So I feel like that's going to come into play. I could see a Marianne Romeo fire making challenge. I mean, where Romeo loses and fires. So I think that's a very realistic possibility. Like, especially if like Lindsay or Jonathan win final immunity, I could see that happening. But yeah, it's gonna be very interesting what's gonna happen tonight. But yeah, like the Big Brother finale. I mean, in theory, I should be trying to pay attention to this a good amount. Yeah, I definitely will. But again, I feel like coming into this, I have very solidified expectations. Sort of like what I had with BB Can. So like, I feel like a lot of it's just waiting to see what happens with like the competitions. So to see who wins the challenges. Just getting a general sense of where the direction's heading, which shouldn't be too bad. I also can see this fire making between Marion and Romeo, with Romeo kind of giving up. Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, like, I feel like if they were really going all in on that, propping up a strong woman storyline, I feel like that's definitely something to come into play where he literally gives up his game in fire for Marianne. I mean, granted at that point it's like I feel like that could kind of backfire because it's like, then people would ask, "Oh, well, would she really have won if he was trying?" I mean, realistically, probably not. I feel like they're around the same level, so I feel like either of them would have probably taken it anyway. But yeah, that would be a very interesting way for that storyline to end. Yeah, I'm gonna need a lot of water tonight. But yes, this is gonna be an interesting show. I mean, we can also talk about other things as well. While we wait for stuff. So I guess something else is like we got the season finale to the circle today. I don't know how many people in here are going to be watching that or have watched the circle. I'm not going to spoil it. But yeah, like, we got the finale for that. We saw who the winner is. It was like okay. again, like the circle finale is like so much filler anyway. So it's like really all that mattered was like the blocking at the beginning, the final rating, and then the result. Like I didn't really care about anything else. But yeah, I saw the circle today. I'll probably have a review for that out on Monday. Survivor 42 review will be out on Friday most likely. Like I've already written like a decent amount of what I want to say in that video. And Survivor 42 is a bit of this season on the whole has been sort of a mixed bag for me. I mean, I definitely liked it. Like I know there are people who like love it and say that's one of their favorite seasons, and I can see why. I mean, the cast here for the most part is pretty likable. Um yeah, definitely unique cast. Like also the editing was good. I mean, I'll definitely make a point of this in the review, but it's like I feel like there was this weird discrepancy in quality between like the editing of the characters and the editing of the actual gameplay where the editing of the characters was really strong. Like I feel like we definitely get to know like most of these people during the season. Whereas on the other hand, like you had the editing of the gameplay where it's like the gameplay here wasn't that great to be honest. Like there weren't that many like really big moves at all. I mean, yeah, you had like the Jenny tribal like but again, that was largely because of twists. Trying to think what else. I guess like the Tory tribal, but like even then, it's like that again. People aren't going to be talking about the actual vote out. They're more so going to be talking about like the conversations that happened. I think Survivor 42 is kind of a lesser version of 40. Yeah, I pretty much see it. I think there's definitely pros and cons to each. I think really when compared to 41, the biggest pro is that yeah, I gotta start turning on the show. I think the biggest pro is that they didn't have to waste as much time explaining everything, explaining all the twists and stuff. I feel like it was definitely they definitely were allowed to be a bit more streamlined. But no, it's not the right channel. But yeah, I mean, I feel like everything else was like executed pretty similarly. Like, oh, I mean, I guess the other thing was like we definitely got to see we saw the shot in the dark being played more, which is kind of interesting, but it's like it never actually hit. So I feel like all it did was really show just how bad like everyone was at blindsiding people, especially in the pre-merge, where it's like, I mean, yeah, you can fault like people not playing the shot more in the pre-merge of 41, despite like there being like tons of like blatant targets there. But it's like I think that also speaks to like just how good the majority was at like hiding it and making like that person feel comfortable. Whereas like I feel like in 42, like they probably just got explained the shot better to where they understood it a bit better for one. But I also think they just did a much worse job at like I don't know explaining the plan or making them feel comfortable. So I feel like through that, I mean, they definitely were a bit more emboldened to use shot in the dark, and there's that. So yeah, the show's starting in a minute, so this should be interesting. I will like I guess give some commentary on what's happening that's going on. I feel like I'll have more to talk about with what's going on screen compared to BB Cam, where BB Cam was literally all about the comp results, whereas this we definitely have more to chew on here. Hi Linus, thank you, mate. You're welcome. I guess I'm just a little confused. Like, thanks for. I'm not sure what I did. But you're welcome. All right, here we go. Oh wow, people are coming in. All right, just explaining. He's just setting the stakes. Yeah, this is just Jeff getting us pumped. All right, now they're just doing the intro. Also, hi to everyone that's joining us now. But yeah, we're just watching this finale. All right, now they're just doing these intro packages. Don't really matter too much. I mean, they're gonna make it seem like everyone has a shot. But like again, if you know me, Marianne's got this. Mr. Survivor. All right. All right, they're showing up to the new beach. Sort of dumb that they're going to this new beach. It's like they're trying to recapture like IOI. Like, yeah, I feel like they are trying to recapture the spirit of IOI by like having them like just go to this new beach for the finale. I wonder how Marianne will do for being in the final three. You mean how is she gonna get there? Because I think if it's how she's gonna get there, so I think what's gonna happen is either Jonathan or Marianne, they're gonna go out in 5. So pretty much like if one of them wins immunity, then the other's gonna be voted out. My hunch is that Lindsay will be voted out because I feel like she's been propped up as like an endgame threat. Like that's probably why she's been getting this uptick into content recent episodes. So I think that's gonna happen. So like let's just say that Lindsay gets voted out at 5. Then at 4, I think how it's gonna break down is like you have like 2 duos, like you have Jonathan and Mike on one side, Marianne and Romeo on another side. So basically, if Jonathan or Mike win final immunity, then they're gonna save each other and they're gonna put Marianne and Romeo in fire. If Marianne or Romeo win final immunity, then they're gonna save each other and put Jonathan and Mike in fire. So so I feel like that's the path forward. And if we get like a Marianne Romeo fire making challenge, I think just inherently they're like on equal footing in terms of fire making. But we obviously got that storyline early in the season of Romeo talking about propping up like a strong woman player. And at the time, like he obviously said that while he was on Ika when Drea was like where we thought Drea might have been like that big female player that you wanted to prop up. But then like later on in the season, like we saw like that scene of like Marianne and Romeo like sitting on the beach in the post merge talking about them being underdogs together. And then obviously with Romeo being in on the plan to blindside Omer, then then I feel like he might lose the fire making challenge. Like it's definitely a storyline that's meant to give him like a deep run, but like one where he's probably going to lose at the end, either through losing fire making or getting to final trap and losing. So Jonathan's mad right now that people are voting for him. They're just discussing what happened at the vote. All right, now Romeo's talking about like how he always gets votes and how he's like scraping by, which like okay. Yeah, and this is all in the finale, so it doesn't really matter that much. So yeah, I think that's the path forward. And like, even if Lindsay wins Final Five immunity, and they vote out like Jonathan, I feel like she probably loses fire making anyway. I could see it being like Marion versus Lindsay if I had to guess, but more than likely, I think it's like Lindsay's gonna lose. So what is he doing? Yeah, he was holding up something. I wasn't paying attention. Um, all right, now they're talking about Lindsay being the biggest threat. Yeah, we know she can't win. All right. All right. So it sounds like they're giving setup to Mike going back on his word a lot. All right. Oh, so Romeo, so that thing he was holding up, he was claiming to have an idol. So I guess that's like a fake. All right. Yeah, so they're setting up Mike as a backstabber. Yeah, so apparently Mike promised Marianne that he would give her his idol at 5, and I guess that's not happening now. But obviously Marianne has an idol anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, this is not good on Mike's end. All right, so Mike's now telling Lindsay that she should win the next challenge, basically. So there's that. All right, now they're getting tree mail. Oh, so now they're doing the same twist as last season where they did like the scavenger hunt. So they're probably gonna like yeah, so it's gonna be like an advantage in the challenge, I would assume. All right. The of the Yeah, I'm just trying to. All right, so I think there's the word "good" in there. There's like two thes. There's an of. All right. Yeah, I'm not here to play the game within the game. Oh, good fortune is tucked in the toes of the sleeping giant. Okay. All right, so Lindsay was the first to get it. Now in 41, like I think like Erica took forever to solve the clue, but like she and then everyone else was like searching for like an hour, but then like I don't know where Erica finds it. All right, so Lindsay's looking for the advantage. All right. Oh, so it's like a foot, I think. Hit. All right, so now the others are like working together to like solve it. It's like it's pretty much everyone against Lindsay right now. All right. It would be interesting if Lindsay found it. Can you show the finale, please? No, I cannot. You're gonna have to find your own way of watching it. Whether that's through like a website or something. I can't give any links because I don't want to like get in trouble for like copyright stuff. But but yeah, I mean, like if you look around, like it shouldn't be too hard to find. I'm assuming you don't have cable, so yeah, it's not too hard if you look. But I'll just leave it at that. All right, let's try. She's gonna find the advantage. Well, you know, Lindsay has found the advantage. A slight advantage. I just find it funny. Slight advantage. Slight advantage. Sure, I guess. All right, we are going to commercial right now. All right, so we have here. So they always show these at during the commercial break. So what they're showing the log challenge from Winners at War. Yeah, they're showing interesting highlight there. But yeah, I mean, okay, pretty much what I'm expecting so far. Again, I am kind of hoping for surprises here, but again, I think I have a good idea of how this is all gonna go. So yes, while we're on commercial break, and really for this challenge here, I mean, it's like because usually like challenges are when I tend to tune out. So but yeah, I mean, I'm free to talk about whatever. So so yeah, so Friday I have the Survivor 42 review coming out. Then next Friday is going to be the 42 player ranking, so that should be interesting to come out with. I already wrote down like a rough draft for what I think it's going to be the player ranking. I think it's going to be pretty solidified by the end of it. I mean, I'm not expecting it to change too much. It's just a matter of me filling in like the specific events, what's going to happen in the finale, but we'll see what happens. Yeah. Again, also the circle throughout that today. So again, I don't know how many people here have watched that. I know my circle videos aren't as popular as the Survivor ones. So again, so I don't want to make any assumptions or like spoil anything. But but yeah, the circle's a circle. Like there's something I was thinking about. I was thinking about this like as the season was airing, like I was thinking about maybe making a video like just complaining about the circle and like what I would do to fix it. And I think a lot of it just boils down to me just being frustrated with the format of like the show, but to a smaller extent the game, even though I kind of understand it. So they have a Big Brother commercial right now. Okay. Are they like all right, so what's your favorite moment in BB history? Really, someone's favorite moment is Josh banging the pots. Like that was like probably the worst. That's probably the worst moment ever. All right, like you had your typical. Yeah, it's just a Big Brother commercial. All right, they had like Dan's funeral. They had what they had. They had like the cookout. Getting to the final six together. Was this? Is this like a challenge thing? Yeah, this is like a challenge thing. Like I've thought about watching the challenge. Like, I've never watched a challenge before, but like I hear like know of it, of course. I don't know, like I guess for me, like I don't know, I just haven't gotten around to it. What was all right? So we're back from commercial. They're doing like the slow mo as they're coming into the challenge. Come on in. I just had to say it. But yeah, more about the circle. Yeah, yeah. So I just wanted to again, I haven't decided whether I want to make it or not, but it's just me talking about like my general gripes with the circle, like the way the show's presented, the way it plays out. There's a lot of like obvious stuff, like the fact that they have like players like coming in later on, which I feel gives like a pretty big disadvantage to like obviously those players, while giving a bigger advantage to the players that are in from the beginning, which I felt like might have come into play this season to a degree, but that's just that. There's also I think my bigger gripe is the fact that they don't show the full ratings for everyone. So so it kind of annoys me because like on one hand, like I get like you don't want to show every single rating as they're making it because it would give away like what the final placements are going to be. And obviously they want it to be a surprise. They want some suspense there. But they should literally, if it were me, I would literally have them do what Survivor does, where it's like, yeah, like you show what they show on the show, but then like at the end of the episode, or maybe like as like a separate release, like they show like they'll show like the full results like separate from like the show, so that you could sell the suspense, but you can find out like what it is for people that want to like look more into it. All right, so there's just explain the advantage. All right, interesting advantage. Again, I feel like it's still going to come down to the puzzle though, so I feel like that's going to be the big issue there. But yeah, we're getting to the challenge now. Um, but yeah, yeah, I wish the circle would just like release like the full ratings of like how everyone rates everyone for each round, on top of like showing what the aggregate is. Because I feel like it would really highlight not only like people's relationships to each other, but also like how strategically people are voting. I feel like that's something that would, one, make it easier for like us to like analyze the game, but also to like get a better sense of, again, because I am someone that like likes to have information. Like I am not someone that likes to try to read between the lines too much, or at least and if if I have information, I'll definitely utilize it. It just stinks when I have to just guess and sort of read between the lines for certain things. So like that's a bit annoying, but again, like I think some of it, I think part of the reason why I may not want to make is because I feel like at the end of the day, it may come down to just the circle not being the show for me. Like the circle is very much a show that talks a lot about how every season is the most strategic ever, and how they highlight with each players how they're going to come in and play strategically. But I also think they try to have it both ways, where they they want it to also be a bit of a social experiment. And I feel like that's what the first season of the show really wanted to be like, you could tell the first season that they were casting people that weren't treating this as much of a game. Like you had people like Shuby and Joey who, yeah, may have some reads here or there, but at the end of the day, like they wanted to like get out catfish. They very much were going off who they bonded the most with, which I guess spoiler alert was all the people that came on day one, and the people that came later just didn't have a chance on that season. So there was that. Um, but yeah, like over time, I think they've kind of leaned into it, like by having more people that want to play strategically. But even then, like they're not like fully. I feel like they're not fully catering to the Survivor and Big Brother crowd because they're not showing the full ratings. And like, I mean, I kind of wish they would, but that's just me, I guess. All right, so they're just in the middle of the challenge right now. Again, I'm not gonna make much guesses on who's gonna win this. Just probably that Lindsay's gonna lose it, despite having the advantage. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the circle. I feel like those are my two main issues. Like, I guess that. Oh no, there's other stuff like the weird like format of the show. Like especially this season because it's like there was like weird pacing issues as well as some weird formats, like even more so than usual because like the circle has always been like very much a show they could tell was made for Netflix because they designed it in a way for like people to binge it, like by like ending the episodes in weird spots, ending on cliffhangers so like they'll make people want to watch the next episode, which is annoying. But like literally this past season, they literally had two batches of episodes end right before a blocking, and it made it so you had to wait a whole nother week in order to find out just to just to see who gets blocked in the first 5 minutes, which was annoying. I mean, it made it annoying for me when I was doing my power rankings because like I would literally open each week after talking about the boots, like literally just have like the two people that are most likely to be blocked on the bottom because that's like, well, why am I talking about this person? Because like either way, they're going to be blocked in the first 5 minutes, and even then, like I have to then dedicate time next week to them, only to say, oh, they just got blocked. Nothing happened to them this week, so that was annoying as well. And pacing, like the pacing of the latest season was like really whack because like I think I mean obviously you had the whole Spice Girls thing like taking up a whole bunch of time. Which, by the way, was really funny how they were making such a big deal about the prize money going from $100,000 to 150, especially with it being a US show where I assume it is subject to like taxes and stuff. Because at least like a BB can, like, yeah, the prize money's only like 100,000, but I don't think like prize money from like game shows are taxed in Canada. And plus, on top of that, like it's not just 100,000. They have like all their sponsors. They have like all those like rewards, like the vacation and like the winners. It's like probably stuff that I wouldn't care about, but it's like at least something on top of the 100,000 that isn't taxed. But it's like, yeah, like they're making a big deal about like the 100,000 being taxed, but to being taxed. It's like I also get like, yeah, the circle's a shorter game than like these other shows where I assume the circle's only filmed over the course of like a week or two. But still, like it's so funny how like they make such a big deal about adding an extra $50,000 to this cash prize. It's like we hear the Spice Girls talking about it. It's like we hear them talking about like, ooh, we gotta help out these people getting an extra $50,000. And you also have the players talking over and over again about talking about how this is such a game changer. All right, so it looks like Mike's in the lead right now for this challenge. Yeah, Lindsay's falling out of it. All right. So more about the circle. Yeah, so I feel like it also like really affected the pacing because really the week 2 batch was like really slow to where there was only one real elimination in that week because in the first episode they had to dedicate time to let the Spice Girls like leaving. You had the blocking in the middle of the week. And then you had like the new people coming in. You had Trevor and Everson coming in. And then you had to introduce them. And then you had like the dumb like virus twist that ended up turning into a safety chain. And then you had to waste all this time with the safety chain until it just got down to the 2, and then you have a cliffhanger, wait a week. So, really, there's only 1 elimination that entire week, which is really dumb. And then in week 3, they literally just rushed through it where it's like you had, like a whole bunch of eliminations. Yeah, I think Mike's gonna win. Mike should win this challenge at least. Although they are making it seem like Lindsay's getting close, but I think Mike's gonna win. Yeah, Mike's gonna win, probably. Alright. Yeah, the challenge is just about to wrap up. Yeah, Mike's gonna win this. Yep. Alright. So Mike just won immunity. Yep. One piece away. Wow, so they're making a huge lunch out of this of winning immunity. And they're making a huge lunch out of this. No, but I'm glad good on Mike. Go ahead and win immunity. All right, so Lindsay's pretty much toast. Yeah, we get it, Jeff. You're guaranteed at least fire. All right, so he has to pick one person. All right, now he picks Jonathan for the reward. Just can I have another one? No. All right, this should be a pretty standard round, I assume. It's probably gonna be like 4-1, I would guess. All right, yep. All right, now they're just showing the survivor casting. Maybe Mike will use his idol to save Jonathan. I mean, I guess. I mean, he could. I mean, maybe that's his way of building favor, but like, I don't think it'll be necessary. Being honest, like, I think they just assume that Lindsay's going home, like, unless he's just doing it as like a favor or something. But again, I feel like even then, like Mike and Jonathan, they're already pretty close together. I feel like they would take each other to the end, as I think they would recognize that again, each other is probably their best bet. I mean, I mean, realistically, I feel like Romeo's probably their best bet regardless, but I think they would assume that each other is their own like best bet. I know they had interviews today as well about the that they had like the final five speak sort of thing going to the finale. I took a look at it earlier, but I didn't like fully like read it in too much detail. So while we have the time here, like let's just scroll through it real quick. So All right. What is the move you're most proud of in the first 23 days? Uh, Mike. Mike talks about Omer and Lindsay telling him about the knowledge is power, and then like giving the idol to Omer for protection. Okay, and he gives Jonathan credit too. Right, Marianne. Yeah, Marianne talks about the Omer vote, which makes sense. She also talks about her crying, fake crying, like in the immunity challenge where they were like bartering for rice. Which oh yeah, I forgot about that too. Like that was also like a very big moment for her in the edit. Like the fact that she got like strategic credit for that and how that was presented as a strategic move. So that's pretty good. Romeo, pre-merge running. It was definitely running Ica and being the only member to try to never be in danger of being voted out. I guess. He didn't even get his way at the Zach vote, I guess. So there's that. Yeah, if I haven't had to deal with them, you never can go. Post merge, going from top to bottom was hard. So it's just proud of being like the backup target at like every tribal. I guess just building trust. Like okay, Jonathan. Um, one of my big plays had to do with Omer's old idol nullifier. I was with Omer when he found it before Drea was even voted out. I noticed that Omer's game play becomes more relaxed, whatever it is. So basically, just flipping on Omer basically. So there's that. Which, by the way, I know I didn't talk about that in my power ranking. Like I kind of wish I did, but yeah, Omer had an idle nullifier like pretty much the entire game. He got it from like very early on. I think yeah, I think Jonathan was with him when he found it too. So there's that. And yeah, like it's so crazy how that was never shown on the show. Like despite Omer being like this massive character throughout the season, they never show him having the idle nullifier. Probably because it never came into play, but yeah, it's like if that's the case, like that makes Lindsay's like non-idol play like even worse because like obviously like Final Six was like the final time she could play that idol anyway. So it's like why not just play it? Like just in case. Like unless they were really that confident and whatever. And like Omer like had the idol nullifier regardless. So yeah, so even if the idol went back into circulation, if that was a legitimate argument, then like he could have just said that they could have used the idol nullifier that was back on. I mean, I guess he didn't want to tell Lindsay on the off chance that she would flip because, I mean, I think even then, I think she know about it. Oh, and then Lindsay, she talks about the knowledge is power. In case you were wondering. All right, so now they're showing the reward. We got it. We got it. You were one piece away. We get it. So they're clearly like making it seem like Lindsay has a shot here. I don't think she has a shot though. Who do you think will win? I think Marianne will win. Yeah, I feel like edgically, like she's pretty much the only one that hasn't been severely undermined, and I feel like she has the storyline for a win at this point. So I'd say Marianne. I think Mike has a slight outside chance, like in case like they pull like a fast one on us and like Marianne is taken out. But I assume Marianne's got this. All right, so Jonathan just had Mike promise to play an idol if Lindsay played an idol, which Lindsay doesn't have an idol, so but now they're just undercutting Mike by saying his word means nothing. All right, so Jonathan's the backup. All right, so Lindsay's just making a pitch to Mike now. Again, it's probably not going to work, but it's worth a shot, I guess. Oh, Mike, you liar. This is all just like fake suspense, I feel like. Oh man, Lindsay's really pressuring Mike right now. Yeah, Marianne's like making it seem like she would keep Lindsay. Again, I don't think she will. 'Cause it's like Jonathan's like much easier to be at the end, in my opinion. I feel like Jonathan like isn't going to have like much respect for Jonathan. All right, now they're going to tribal. Yeah, and Marianne just got the final word. So yeah, I expect it to be like a 4-1. I expect it to be like a 4-1 Lindsay vote. I mean, I think at best Marianne plays the idol on herself, or maybe like John Mike plays the idol on Jonathan, maybe. But yeah, I mean, I don't really see much of a way Lindsay's can survive this realistically. So yeah, we're just waiting now for the just waiting for the travel to happen. Do, do, do. I was There's something I was saying before the commercial. A lot before it came back. I think it had to do with Omer's idle nullifier, but yeah, like Omer did have an idle nullifier from like pretty early on. Yeah, like sort of weird how that was never like brought up on the show at any point. And clearly, like based on these like exit interviews, it play like such a big factor in the game here. Like, so I feel like, and I'm actually surprised it wasn't like in more interviews. Like, but to be fair, like I think only like Omer and Jonathan knew up until like the actual round, and then maybe like around like the actual round where Omer went out, like that's when people started to learn more about it. So, but yeah, like it's sort of crazy how long it's managed to stay under wraps, which is definitely impressive. But it's also like sort of crazy how Omer was never really able to use it effectively. I think his plan was to use it at 5 to like blindside Mike, I believe, which in hindsight may not have been the best move. I feel like that really would have burned Mike. My opinion, I feel like that probably would have burned Mike's jury vote. However, aside from that, I think he probably wins regardless. I feel like. So I think that is a credit you can give him, or is that I think he does win if it gets to the end. Like I know there'll probably be a debate like between whether him or Marion would win, like if they had gone to the end together. And well, we might know for sure like once the like exit interviews and like the deep dives come out. But I assume on the offset that Omer would win. I mean, if we're going through the jury votes, like I mean, I feel like the grouping of like Chanel, Tori, High, I feel like they would all vote for Omer on the basis that he played the better game. I mean, now Drea could vote for Marianne. I feel like that's a realistic possibility. Up, it's back from commercial. So I think there's that. Jonathan probably votes for Omer over Marianne. That's something else. And I guess it also depends on who he's at the end against. Like, I feel like if it's like, let's say Mike's on the jury, I feel like uh Mike more than likely votes with Jonathan there, like unless like Omer did what he did was like, but that's something the assumption that Omer doesn't betray them. But I guess like if Omer were to like use the idle nullifier against Mike, then I think that might change. So again, there's that. But I feel like just inherently Omer would have the advantage in a jury vote over Marianne. Whereas I feel like now, like that Omer's out of the game, and especially now that Marianne was the one that orchestrated this move, I feel like that's definitely a major thing that'll go in Marianne's favor in winning a jury vote. And plus, like she can still tell the story and stuff. But I feel like it's really that move that will allow her to win the game. That and also like the fact that she's surrounded by people who don't really have much of a case. I mean, I feel like the only person that has a shot against her is like Lindsay, but like even then, I feel like Lindsay's like on her way out right now. So I feel like coming to this final four, like again, Marion beats all the people still in the game. So it's just a matter of like which combination she's in there with. So we'll have to see what happens. We get it. You're one piece short. Oh my god, she keeps saying it. Yeah, we're just at tribal right now. I'm a little surprised by how much time was taking up. Like we're already like 47 minutes in. Like, I mean, yeah, yeah, I know that's 3 hours, but also I'm in fact I'm kind of assuming that we get like a decent amount of time for this reunion show or the after show, I guess, not even a reunion. Which, by the way, like we got like that interview from Jeff recently about how he wants to like keep doing live winter reveals in Fiji. And I know people are like opposed to that because like they like the reunions and stuff. And again, too, like there was also that tweet from Erica talking about how the shock of her win was like so much that she wasn't like prepared to like talk about her game as it literally just happened. However, I think there is a give or take. I mean, on one hand, like I if I were personally in the game, I would rather just know the results right away. Because yeah, I mean, chances are like they probably know what's gonna happen anyway, but it's like just nice to have that confirmation, I guess. So I feel like that's definitely a factor for me is that I would rather find out on the island rather than wait months and months and months. Where yeah, I have a pretty good I would have a pretty good read based on the jury and the game that was played, but not having the confirmation is probably what isn't ideal for me. So here's that. But yeah, on the other hand, like there's also like I understand it too in the sense that the reunion like definitely has the element of them having been able to watch a TV show and having time to get back home and like reflect on their game. So I think there is a give or take, and I think there is a like I think they could compromise a bit. I think you could still have the live winner reveal in Fiji, like just in case there's like another like emergency where you don't have another winners at war situation of revealing the winner through like a video call or whatever. Um and you know, maybe you could have like an after show. Like you could have like an after show like in case you aren't able to get them back together. But you should definitely, like, also try to, like, schedule it, like, just in case so that, like, you can, like, decide what you wanna do. So, like, if you are able to get together for, like, a live reunion, like, after the fact, then you can just edit it in a way to where you just cut out the after show and then just replace it with the reunion. But you still have, like, the after show, like, in case you aren't able to meet. So I feel like there is a give or take. There is a compromise you can do to where because at the end of the day, like it doesn't really matter whether winter reveal happens. Again, I state for me personally, I would have my preference of wanting to know right away, especially if we already have like an 80 like 85% chance of knowing where the votes are. So like it's like you might as well just tell them who the winner is up front. But I think there's also like ways where you can still have the live show element to it. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, chances are we're probably going to stick with this format moving forward. You know, like we could take it or leave it. It doesn't matter too much because like it's like the reunion. Like, yeah, it's nice, but it's like not part of the actual game. So it's like it's sort of like after the season and stuff. So you know, like I understand why people are upset, but all right. So they're getting ready to vote. So yeah, I assume this is gonna be like a 4-1. I mean, we might see Marianne and Mike play their idols for themselves, but aside from that, like I'm not expecting anything too crazy here. All right. 21 years. What are you talking about? He's gonna play for Jonathan. Oh, wow. So Mike just played the idol for Marianne. So I guess now Marianne is gonna play the idol. All right, now Romeo's gonna play his fake. That's dumb. That's dumb. All right, this is gonna be like a 4-1. Mhm. Yep. Yep. 4-1. Hello, I just came from watching a Korean horror movie. That's nice. How was it? Yes, we're just watching the Survivor 42 finale right now. Not too much going on here. All right, so nothing too surprising here. What about Marianne's idol? Well, I guess she just didn't have much of a need to play it. I mean, I assume like if she had pulled it out that I assume she figured that she pulled it out that it would have made like Mike's just it would have may have slighted Mike a bit because Mike probably felt that he was reaching out to do that to play his idol for her, even though he already had immunity, but whatever. But like he probably felt like that was his move, and that if Marianne had played her own idol, I mean, because no one else knows about the idol, so I feel like one that would have definitely showed may have increased her threat level, even then, it's kind of a nothing move. But it's like if she had pulled it out after Mike had already played it, that probably would have made Mike feel like he was put on the spot or something. Yes, Lindsay was voted out 4-1. Yeah, she had an advantage in the immunity challenge, and she came close to winning, but came up short and was voted out. Yeah, now it's just commercial break. All right. So I guess now it's just a matter of who wins that final immunity challenge and how this fire situation plays out. You know, and more importantly, which final three scenario we get. And but but yeah, like going to my jury scenarios, I have like the whole document open of like my list. But yeah, like that was all under the assumption that Lindsay would be out at 5, and yeah, so like so there's that at least. Yep. So just a reminder so like the scenario I had number 1 was Marianne versus Mike versus Romeo. I mean, it doesn't matter too much. I mean, again, I feel like that's probably we're gonna get unless I don't know, unless Romeo loses fire making, but there's that. Who went? Oh, yeah, I already mentioned that. All right. But I actually think Lindsay played a good game for the most part. I mean, I'm kind of doing an impromptu. Who in the jury do you think is going to vote for Mike? Uh, I think it depends on. I think a lot of it depends on who the final juror is, because right now I'm just looking. I'm just going through my chart here. Um, so let's see. So I'm just looking at all the scenarios without Lindsay in them. I think Mike's most likely scenario to get votes is like in the Jonathan, Mike, Romeo scenario, which I don't think is super likely. But realistically, if we're assuming Marianne is at the end with him, I think his only real shot is if Jonathan is voted out. Like if Jonathan loses fire and oh, yeah, if Jonathan loses fire and is on the jury, I think Jonathan could vote for Mike there because they do have their relationship, and I don't think Jonathan is likely to vote for Romeo. I mean, they don't really have much of a relationship. And plus, I don't think Jonathan respects Marianne too much. So I think in a scenario where Jonathan's on the jury, I think Mike would get Jonathan's vote. But aside from that, I'll be honest, I would be surprised if it got any other jury votes. Now it is possible. I mean, I think it would depend on the jury scenario, but I assume Marianne, if she gets to the end, is gonna win very aggressively. All right, so now we're at final immunity. We got some motion here. Marianne even name dropped it, so that's interesting. All right, yeah. So Jonathan is not winning this. I don't think. I'd be very surprised if Jonathan won it. All right. Now Mike is talking quite a bit, and also talking to Romeo. Yes, emotion. Like I feel like really it's anyone's challenge. I mean, because yeah, it's sort of hard to tell with this type of challenge, but it's really like entirely mental. But I don't know. I feel like Jonathan's probably the least likely to win, but outside of that, I feel like any of the others could win. I think. I mean, who knows? Maybe Jonathan could surprise us, but I don't think this is really in his wheelhouse. And I would say Mike also is in a great spot here. I mean, didn't win the practice run. Yeah, yeah, that pretty much happened. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, it's been a while since I watched Cambodia, but I just remember Jeremy winning it, and I just remember his reaction to winning it because he knew that he had won at that point. But yeah, that is kind of funny. All right, now they're just allowing everyone to talk and get some personal content here. That's nice. Yeah, I do like that location where they have this immunity challenge. Like it's a really nice view. Like you can see the ocean and stuff. Yeah, we know how it works. Yeah, I actually like some ocean quite a bit. It's actually one of my favorite challenges. Like, cause like I'm sort of weird. It's like I just like seeing the balls rotate like over and over again. It's like it literally becomes hypnotic. And I guess that's what makes it so difficult too. But it's like for me, just watching it, it's just like very mesmerizing to see. So I'm kind of glad that they're doing this one here. All right, now they're starting the challenge. Oh, thanks for the history lesson, Jeff. Actually, that's right. I think every time. Oh, Mike's done. Wow. That's right. Like every season, like this has always been a final immunity, hasn't it? All right. Yeah, so it was on. Oh, I guess it wasn't. So yeah, so it was final immunity in Tocantins, final immunity in Cambodia, final immunity in Winners of War. Oh, and someone already updated the wiki for being on 42, so that's sort of funny. Yeah, what else? But yeah, I yes, it was also a reward challenge in Ghost Island, but I always think of Samotion as the filler final immunity if they don't have another idea. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, it is really cheap, you know. But yeah, that's right. It was also yeah, so it was a reward challenge in Ghost Island, but it was like different because it was like really big and was like they were using like the huge like spindles, like and it was like a team thing that that's right. It was also Final Immunity in David versus Goliath. I forgot about that. And then it was a duel in South Pacific, so there's that. Buy what 12, 16 balls and then card up things they have every season. Yeah, pretty much. Like, oh wow, Marianne dropped. All right, so now it's Jonathan and Romeo. Wow, Jeff's roasting them right now. Oh my god, he's just roasting them right now for failing the challenge. But yeah, pretty much. Like, yeah, this is a really cheap challenge. Like, yeah, like I wouldn't be surprised if those were the same like tracks that they had. If those are like the same contraptions that they had from literally the first time they did it. And they look like they're like 15 years old. Well, yeah, yeah, it's definitely like a cheat challenge, but again, as I explained, like it is a challenge that I at least find like interesting to look at. They look like the same tracks from South Pacific, at least. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it looks like Romeo. Yeah. Yeah, Romeo's definitely not well positioned here. Like, he has not been doing a good job at spacing them out. I mean, just looking at it, I would assume Jonathan has been doing a better job at spacing them. Yeah. Oh, wow. How embarrassing. All right. So, Romeo has won final immunity. Good for him. Yes, Romeo won final immunity. I like this music. Yeah, I like this music they're playing. Okay, so I assume he's gonna say Marianne, and we're probably gonna see a Jonathan Mike fire making. I assume. So yeah, I think we're gonna get a Jonathan Mike fire making challenge. Alright. All right, yeah, that was interesting. Part of me wonders, like, do you think there's a chance Marianne could like volunteer to go into fire? I mean, do you think like the whole like Romeo empowering like a woman, like maybe I don't know, maybe like Marianne like tells him that she wants to be the one to beat Jonathan or something, and then um through that like he sends her into fire, like assuming like he's helping her out. And then, like, on the off chance that she loses, like, he at least would be at the end without her, but, I mean, that is possible. I mean, there's no reason why it can't happen. Oh, wow, the Sonic movie's already on DVD? When did Sonic 2 come out? I'm just curious. Wow, came out April 8th, and it's already on DVD. Wow. Yeah, because I remember seeing that in theaters, and it was not in theaters that long. Jonathan will defeat Mike on fire making, and that's how Marion wins as the sole survivor. I mean, it's possible. I mean, it's definitely possible. I mean, I feel like Jonathan and Mike are, in theory, around the same level. I think. I mean, part of me like thinks maybe like Mike might have an advantage as he is a firefighter. But then again, like he's like putting out fires, like using like hoses and stuff, whereas like he has to like build a fire from scratch. But then again, I feel like Mike would be the type of person that would bother to learn how to make fire. To be fair, so is Jonathan. So like I feel like they're around the same level in terms of fire, so, like, I feel like it could go either way. That'd be interesting to see. Definitely be interesting to see. Alright, we are back from commercial now. Alright, and what do we have here? Yeah, we're gonna get a personal segment from Romeo right now, and we're gonna get like footage from home from him. Is this gonna be like Xander last season after he won final immunity? Oh my god. Yeah, Romeo's like talking about like how he's been at the bottom the whole time. Are you streaming the episode? I'm streaming my reaction to it. But I am not like showing the episode for copyright reasons. I mean, if you are looking for ways to watch the episode, I mean, like you can look online, like Google might be your friend there, but I'm not going to be showing the actual episode here. Again, I think he's going to say Marianne, or at least he wants to get to the end with Marianne. Like again, we could see like if he actually like sends her in a fire. I mean, I could realistically see either option because I assume that Marianne and Romeo are like closely aligned. Like they have like a really good bond and stuff. All right, now they're propping up Jonathan as like really big fire guy. Oh wow, Marianne wants Jonathan to win fire. That's interesting. Very interesting. I mean, to be fair, I mean, it's kind of a wash. Though. Again, I feel like Marianne beats both of them. Again, I feel like she beats both of them. Although I think I said in my jury scenarios video that she wins unanimously against Jonathan and oh no, that was against Jonathan and Mike. Like what I say for so Jonathan, Marianne, Romeo. Yeah, so in that scenario, I said Mike votes for Jonathan, and then Tori. I think Tori votes for Marianne at this point. Like I think I said at the time that there was a chance she votes for Romeo. To be fair, maybe she could, but I think with the rest of the juries going, I think she would probably join them in voting for Marianne anyway. So yeah, that's why I said there. They're really focusing on Mike here, like scheming around this fire thing. Yeah, Marion says her best case scenarios against like Jonathan and Romeo. Honestly, I feel like her most guaranteed win is against both Mike and Jonathan because I assume that like Jonathan and Mike would vote for each other if one of them were on the jury. But it's like if they're both at final tribal with Marianne, then obviously they can't vote for each other. And I can't see really anyone else voting for them. So I think that's definitely something at least. But who knows? Maybe we'll learn some stuff afterwards. But that's just my intuition. Right now looks like everyone's promised doing fire. All right, so I think Mike's talking about like how he feels like he needs to win the fire making challenge in order to win the game. Yeah, yeah, by not winning though. I mean, I think Mike could win fire, but he's not winning the game. Yeah, High is just shocked about Romeo winning immunity. All right, so now we're at tribal. Right. Yeah, now we're just waiting for Romeo's decision. We're probably gonna go to like I assume we're gonna have a commercial break before we know the decision. Man, Jonathan's like staring at the fire. What is up with that? Like, are they implying he's gonna lose? Like, all right, so let's see his decision. They're gonna cut the commercial, probably. Okay, okay. All right, so Romeo just saved Marianne, meaning we are getting a Jonathan Mike fire making challenge. Right, another commercial break. So something else I was thinking about is the do or die. So like how would the season have changed if Lindsay had gone out to do or die? And I think just on the offhand, I think it definitely changes a bit. So I think for one, you have I think the big thing that changes it is the fact that Omer has an idle nullifier, which again, the fact that we didn't even know about it until after he got out is pretty mind-boggling. But so if Lindsay had gone out to do or die, then I think Dre is the boot at 6. I think. I feel like she is still like a bigger target and a shield for Omer and Lindsay. I mean, maybe they try to take a shot at Omer, but I feel like the big reason why Omer went out at 6 is because he was the biggest threat there. Then again, like, does Omer like take the risk of taking Dre to 5? I think he will. I think he would because again, assuming like his plan was still to blindside Mike at 5 with the item nullifier, I think he's willing to take that risk. So I think at that point it becomes okay. So Drea gets out of 6, biggest threat there. At 5, the majority puts their votes on to Omer, but then Omer like uses the idol nullifier. I think he convinces Mike to play the idol. I think, and then through that, I think he convinces the majority to vote out Mike. Mike is convinced to play the idol. I think, but then again, does Mike even play the idol? I mean, because if the majority of the votes are against Omer at that point, so maybe in that case, maybe Omer is better off like keeping Drea at 6 because at least then, like with them plus Lindsay and Mike, you know, they would have numbers there. I think so. I think it becomes that, but then again, like Drea is probably tougher to beat in a jury vote, I would assume, than Omer. So maybe maybe some, but Drea doesn't have the amulet idol at 6. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Well, no, because Lindsay would still be in the game, so it would still just be like a steal a vote. So no, like they wouldn't have an idol. I really think Omer should have gotten rid of Marianne at 7 instead. Yeah, yeah, because so that 4-person group of like Omer, Lindsay, Drea, and Mike would have been together. I mean, but then again, like would Mike have gone along with voting out Marianne? I mean, I assume so. In the scenario, Lindsay goes out by yeah. So that's what I'm trying to calculate here because he was priming himself so hard to be blindside at 6. Yeah, exactly. So, like, like, Omar literally shot himself in the foot by allowing Drea to go at 7 because Drea was such a massive shield for Omar, and by getting her out at 7, he was just the biggest threat there at 6, especially, like, the way he go went about it, like, with, like, the whole telling Mike about, the knowledge is power, like, because Drea knew immediately that, like, Omer was behind it because he was the only person that she told about the knowledge is power, and it's like, once, like, Mike didn't have his idol, like, she knew immediately that he had told him about it, and, like, that was clearly his move. Alright, now they're doing the fire making challenge, so there's that. Now I'm just trying to think, like, do they vote out Dre at 6? I feel like that's the big question here because I assume voting out Dre at 6 is still a mistake would still be a mistake. I think Omer's optimal move in that scenario, but then again, that's without Lindsay, but he would tell Mike, so that's true. So I feel like that 3 of, like, Omer, Drea, Mike, I feel like that's something that could get Omer to 5 at least. So who would they vote out? Oh yeah, and I guess they would have Jonathan, I guess. So yeah, they had the numbers there. Probably vote out, like, Marianne or Romeo at 6. At 5 I mean, I guess Blindside Mike? Guess? Well, no, like, because I think Omer at that point would wanna keep Mike in the game, like, especially with Dre still around, like, so maybe that whole Blindside Mike with the Idle Nullifier was, like, a reaction to, like, maybe that was something he came up with after Dre went out? Like, I am not paying attention to this fire making challenge at all. Like, so, like, Mike is doing pretty well so far. Jonathan's kind of struggling. I assume he's gonna catch up. I assume it's gonna get closer. Yeah, maybe I should pay attention more to this. Well, let's look at it the other way. Like if they vote out Drea at 6. So let's say they vote out Drea at 6. So going into 5, Omer would have Mike and Jonathan. He should have gotten rid of either Marion or Romeo at 6, then Dre at 5, since he probably beats anyone. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Although the other consideration is, do you think Dre could win out from 5? I mean, I would assume no. I mean, especially with these challenges, but it's definitely a consideration. I feel like, yeah, Mike is doing really well here. Yeah, so I assume that would be the plan. And then maybe, like, he just doesn't have to deal with the Yellow Nullifier at all. But yeah, I think Omar would do pretty well here. Yeah, Mike's about to win this, isn't he? All right. All right, so Jonathan just became the final juror. Oh, Jeff, stop sucking up. Wait, would Omer know about Marion's idol? Because that could maybe shake it up. Yeah, it's also true. Like, it would depend a lot on. I guess it would depend on how Marianne plays it, because I assume Marianne would keep it secret regardless. So that's like the thing we're trying to consider here. I assume they go for Romeo regardless because I think in this scenario, I am assuming Omar would try to stick true to the Takus for as long as possible, and through that, Romeo would become the outsider. I guess the main consideration is whether Marion would try to make a move here and try to play the idol on Romeo here. Who won? Mike beat Jonathan in the fire making challenge. So which means the final three is Marianne, Mike, and Romeo, which I did have as the most likely scenario in the video I made last week. All right. So that's something. I got the scenario I said was the most likely to happen did happen. All right, so let's just look at this scenario here. So what did I say here for the votes? Jonathan going out the round before the finals yet again in another reality show. Oh, so did this happen? Did this happen to him in like endurance? I mean, that'd be pretty funny. And it was in Fiji too. So one person from every tribe. Good job. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's also true because Marianne's from Taku, Mike's from Vati, and Romeo's from Ika. Yeah, that's true. One from each tribe. Yeah, he was third in season 5. Again, I've never seen Endurance, so yeah, but that's funny that that happened. Season 3 is really good because the cast is a complete mess, but most seasons are kind of blah. All right, that's something at least. Again, I've never seen Endurance, so like I can't really speak for it. The comparisons between 41 and 42 are so crazy. Yeah, there were a lot of similarities between 41. Like you had like the knowledge is power, like getting counteracted. Do many similar stuff happen with outcome? Yeah, so like you had the knowledge is power playing out pretty similarly. You had the do or die playing out very similarly as well, with the person surviving it. Not only surviving it, but surviving it after not picking the other option, which if you watched like the RHAP, the Know It Alls episode with Christian, he explained it was actually more likely it was that you actually had better odds if you switched. So it's funny how both the Sean and Lindsay survived it after like not switching. In other words, not taking the option that increases their probability. So I think that's funny. Season 3 is this like BB6 esque season, except one of the leaders of the friendship esque side. Her partner is on the other side, so they hate each other. Oh yeah, BB6. Yeah, that was quite the season. Oh wow, there's quite a bit of people in here now. Hello. Yeah, we're just watching the Survivor 42 finale right now. We just had the fire making challenge, and we had our have our final three. But getting back to this final three, so we have Marianne, Mike, Romeo, and let's go through the votes here. So this is directly from my jury scenarios video. So what did I have down here? Chanel votes for Marianne. Roxroy votes for Marianne. Tori votes for Marianne. Hi votes for Marianne. Drea votes for Marianne. Omer, Marianne. Lindsay, Marianne, Jonathan, Mike. So so basically I am expecting this to be 7-1-0 vote here. Imagine if it's another 7-1-0 with me. Oh yeah, that's true. So like yes, so that would be another similarity for Marion to win 7-1. I remember at one point he literally tells people vote me out just so she loses the game. Oh wow. Yeah, that sounds like something you'd see from BB6. Just these sides hating each other. When it start, by the way, um, well, the episode started at 8, and it's gonna run until like 11 technically speaking, but that also includes the after show. Like, and I'll definitely stay on during the after show. I'm probably not going to pay too much attention to it, but yeah. So again, here's that. But yes, I am expecting this to be a 7-1 vote here. Again, Jonathan's going to vote for Mike more than likely, but I think everyone else is probably going to vote for Marianne. Yeah, I think Lindsay's going to vote for Marianne here. I expect there to be some bitterness from Mike. I mean, I could definitely see the whole giving his word thing could definitely come back and bite Mike. I'm not. You're welcome. Um, all right. Now we're just getting the day through 9, or I guess day 26. I mean, these can be like nice segments sometimes, but it's largely filler. I mean, I mean, it's pretty clear who's gonna win at this point. I mean, again, Marion should have this. What is this? What is this editing? The best pre-segments were Sandra burning Russell's hat and didn't really know Mary. Yeah, that was pretty memorable. What is this? Are they like weaving in the jury speaks into the actual show here? Are you excited for BB24 and Survivor 43 to come out? Yeah, I'm pretty excited. So yeah, I mean, like BB24. I mean, and they're definitely not on my horizon right now because obviously I'm still covering these shows. But yeah, like once we get to towards like BB24, like I'm definitely going to be hyped for it. And then same thing with Survivor 43, which I know is filming right now. And I know the cast has been leaked and stuff. Um, Again, it's interesting seeing the cast. Oh my god. What the heck is this? It's like it's weird because it's like they're weaving in like it's like they're trying to recapture like the old like jury things, jury like confessionals from like the very early seasons. It's like from the very early seasons, like when the final two would go right as they're heading out, like they're leaving the camp for the last time, it would just cut to like random jurors. It would just cut to random jurors and it say what they're thinking heading into the final tribal, which I do like those segments. Like it's definitely like a way of like reflecting on the season. I do like those, but it's like the way they're handling it here, like it just completely catches me off guard here. And it's so weird how they're talking about each of the jury members here. It's weird how they're talking about each of the finalists here. It it again, it makes me think about Big Brother too, because like you have like those like jury roundtables where it's like they would talk about it's like where they would like dedicate each some time for each finalist or each person in the final three, and then everyone would just basically prop them up and make it sound like they're open to voting for them when in reality, I mean, we obviously know like they're probably locked in, but like they had to make it seem like anyone can win this when it's I mean, come on, who's Marion's winning this? I'm worried for BB24 because of the subparness of the recent seasons, but I'm still praying it's good after BB Can 10 blew everyone's socks off. I'm not expecting this to be as good. I'm not expecting it to be good as BB Can 10. I mean, but obviously BB Can 10 was like a bizarre season on the whole. I'm not expecting BB 24 to be like that, but I am hopeful that'll be good. I feel like I am hoping that we get a good season here. Like it doesn't have to be like an amazing season, but just like one that's like interesting. Yeah, BBUS keeps getting subpar. Yep. Yeah, I agree. Can't believe Romeo went from dominating Ika and getting a good edit pre-merge to then being the biggest non-factor and GOAT in the back half. I mean, did he dominate? Did he dominate Ika? I mean, he was definitely the I mean, yeah, he definitely had a good amount of control there. But I mean, he was definitely closely aligned with Drea. I mean, I feel like Drea was more so the leader of that group. And he was definitely more of like an under the radar operator. But even then, like he was close to Zach early on, but like he didn't get his way there. So there's that. Him and Swati, I so had so control. All right. All right. So that's good. We're at least getting a commercial break here. All right. So like I said, I'm expecting this to be like 7-1. Seven Marianne, one Mike, zero Romeo. Like I'll definitely try to pay a bit of attention to like the final tribal here. Like see what we get. I'm kind of nervous of the season finale. You're nervous? Like, why are you nervous? Right. So any thoughts, any predictions coming into final tribal here? All right, so it is now 9:47. Time is really flying, if you ask me. Like, I mean, sort of crazy how it's like almost 10 o'clock, which is fine. I mean, I don't need like a super long after show or anything. I kind of don't want the after show to be super long. All right, just waiting. Again, I think Marianne should do pretty well here. Final tribal, like she has a good enough story to tell. I think Mike might have trouble owning up to his game. I mean, that's to be expected. I'm just wondering how Romeo will do. That'll be interesting to see. I mean, it's probably not going to matter too much, but I mean, I am a little interested to see how he'll perform here. Oh my god, this is so long, this commercial. What if Mike could have won, but his performance and him saying he's probably loyal makes him lose votes? Just a thought. I mean, that is possible. I mean, I'm just wondering like who he would have coming in. I mean, I guess he could have Roxroy coming in, maybe. But then again, like Roxroy was someone he broke his word to, so I feel like that's something that could be held against him. I don't know. I mean, again, I mean, he could lose Jonathan's vote. I mean, depending on if it's like a really bad performance, but even then, I don't think Jonathan's voting for Romeo or Marianne here. Sad that Mike won't own his game. If Mike did, he would he though? I mean, because I don't think like he never really had a moment to break out of being perceived as the puppet here. Because like the Omer move, that was I assume that's being seen as Marianne's move. Like Mike, I feel like Mike is gonna have trouble owning up to that. All right, so we're back. Omer's talking. All right. All right. She's the first person to use an extra vote to make a difference. I mean, technically that's true. Although I feel like if if she didn't, I feel like if she didn't use the extra vote, like it would have just been like a tie, and I feel like Omar still would have been voted out on the revote. Like, because yes, Mike. I mean, I feel like at that point, if it was a tie, Mike would have flipped anyway, and the plan would have been to vote out Omar regardless. So yeah, I mean, the extra vote did technically make a difference, but I feel like even if she didn't use it, Omar still would have gone home. So I could take her to leave it. Alright. Alright, that's a good answer for Marianne. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, Romeo's kind of stuck right now. Well, that's awkward. Yep. Oh boy, it's all coming back now. It's all coming back now. Can Mike? Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, he's not owning up. Yeah, I'm predicting Marion 7-1. Yeah, so am I. Yeah, I think Jonathan votes for Mike. Everyone else should be for Marion. Is the final trial? Yes, it is. Yeah, we're at final travel right now. Yeah, Mike is. Yeah, Mike's getting confronted for backstabbing people, and yeah, he's not doing a great job at owning up to it. All right, Marion's talking. Mike, all you had ought to own your game. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he came off as pretty defensive and trying to claim that other people were forcing his hand here. Mm, I get excited on season finale, but when votes are ready, I get kind of nervous. Yeah, yeah, I can see that. Depending on, I feel like it depends on the season, though. Yeah, I'd be interested to see what the vote margin ends up being. The physical part of the game. Yeah, Rocksroy, the one who cares the most about the physical game. Mike, Mike was so good, social. Jury gave him loyalty, and he used that loyalty to get that out. But he is not owning this, unfortunately. Um, yeah. So like you have like him like saying he'd take a bullet for Lydia, but then voting out Lydia. Like, is that? I think the Rocksroy thing is a bit more suspect because he seemed to be all in on like the guys alliance he was proposing up until the split tribal, and like there wasn't really much choice there. I'd be shocked if Marion doesn't win, but there's a high chance that she's, yeah, pretty much. Do you ever plan on revisiting your redoing Survivor blank, or is the upload schedule too busy? I think I will get around to doing it, especially with the off season coming up. Yeah, like I definitely want to get back into it. Yeah, it's just been a bit busy lately with like other stuff covering, between me doing brand steals. Like part of the reason why I started it was because like I wanted to like get some exposure out there and also to like get more comfortable behind a camera. Yeah, but also just 'cause it's fun, like brand steals can be fun to do, and it's interesting to see what comes out of them. But yeah, to answer your question, I would like to do more brand steals moving forward. They spend a couple minutes on physical. I don't know how long until jury votes start. I mean, it should be coming up soon. Love seeing the growth. Yeah. Oh, thanks. All right, so Romeo is talking about like, so he's talking about his fake idol. Okay. Then like him building the alliances and then winning the final immunity. Yes. So he just admits to not having strategy because like he said that he took Mary into three because he knew she didn't have a strategy. Then he said that they played similar games. Okay. Yeah, so he said that he played both emotionally and with strategy. So that's awkward. Again, I don't think Mike wins even if he does own his game. Because yes, he is well liked, but I feel like that was already such a big issue for him. It's like just really being him being in the driver's seat for a lot of it. Oh, wow. Wow, this is pretty good. Maybe it would have been 6-2-0 or maybe 5-3. The stretch would definitely Mike would have had more of a shot. I'm just wondering where the votes come from. I mean, I guess maybe he gets Roxroy's vote, maybe. I mean, I could see him getting Roxroy. Then does he get high? I'm guessing. I, no way he gets High's vote. Even without the whole backstabbing thing, like I don't think High really saw Mike as that great of a player. So I think best case scenario, Mike would have gotten like Roxroy's vote. Yeah, exactly. I don't think he gets High. Yeah, so I think Mike's absolute best case scenario would have been getting Roxroy's vote as well, but I don't think he's even getting that at this point. I think he only gets Mike. I mean, he only gets Jonathan. But yeah, that was a really cool moment there for Marianne, like showing her idol that no one knew about. He doesn't get Omar or Lindsay higher. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, Omar and Lindsay, like they probably just still see him as the puppet. High and Chanel, again, similar thing. They're probably voting for Game, and I think they see Marion as a bigger player, technically speaking. Even though I think technically Mike played the better game between them, or at least I might have voted for Mike over Marianne. Although I think I probably will still have Marianne above. I think I'm still gonna have Marion above Mike on the player ranking for this season. But again, under the assumption that Mike wins, like he probably would be a better winner than Marion would have been. But there's that. Already a plus for Marianne. Yep, definitely. Do you think Romeo gets any votes? No, I don't. Not in this scenario, at least. Can we meet? I don't think so. I don't think Romeo might get any votes. Yeah, Romeo's getting 0 votes. I want to buy you KFC. That's nice. I guess Tori Drea could be the third vote for Mike with Roxroy. But the thing is, Tori talks in her exit interview about like being really close to Marianne. Like Tori had a really good relationship with Marianne out there. I think Drea also feels a connection to Marianne as well. Like not just because of the tribal, obviously the split tribal that happened, but I just feel like in general they might have bonded well together with Roxroy and Jonathan. Red Rooster. I've never heard of Red Rooster. When is the finale? It is happening right now. If you were on the season, who was your final three? Um, I'm just thinking about who I would bond with. Well, first of all, what tribe would I be on? I think if I were on Vati, I might connect with Lydia and Daniel, at least on the offset. I don't know how long that would go, but I think the people I would want to sit next to the most, if I like, if I could handpick anyone, I don't know. Roxroy might be cool to sit next to. I'd say Roxroy and maybe Lydia. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like there's just so much out. There's just so many unknowns. What's my favorite fast food? I mean, I like, like I like my McDonald's. Like I like Chipotle too. I mean, if you consider that fast food. There's that. What does the black thing hanging on the back of your wall say? Oh, that's just a picture frame. How long until Jeff reads the votes? Do you think? Well, I think it's gonna be pretty quick. I mean, they could go the Australian Survivor route and like have like a family thing, like maybe like a Zoom thing. But I assume it's gonna be a pretty quick turnaround. This season was definitely better than 41. Enjoyed it with. Well, thanks. In terms of it being better than 41, like I don't know about that if I'm being honest because I feel like it was definitely. I think I think it did a better job at showing the cast as a whole. However, and I think it also like was benefited from like not having to explain all the twists again. And it was sort of interesting seeing like the Shaun of the Dark being played more, but I think aside from that, I don't know if this is better than 41. I mean, I think in a lot of ways they are kind of on the same ground. Like, and I mean, I think 41 does things pretty well. Like a lot of people hate on 41, for understandable reasons, but I don't hate 41 that much. And again, I don't think it's necessarily like much of a downgrade. Like, yes, it was bogged down by certain things. Like the editing did get a bit of wonky at points, and yes, it did have to explain a lot of these done twists. But I think aside from that, it's not the worst thing in the world. So, what was your favorite past Survivor winner except the season because it's still unknown until 7 minutes? Um, so you have your obvious picks. Like I like Boston Rob a lot. Like I think he's just a great character in general. Like I enjoy listening to him, just watching him. Um, you have the obvious picks. I like Earl Cole a lot. Like I think Earl Cole is a pretty underrated winner in the grand scheme of things. Um, so there's that. You have a lot of your odd. Like I like Tony, of course. Tony is pretty cool. I like Adam. I think Adam is a cool story over the course of the season. So there's definitely some winners I enjoyed. Have you checked out the Survivor 43 cast? Yes, I have. Um, yeah, I mean, there isn't really much to say about it. Like, I think it's interesting how they don't have any Canadians on the cast, even though like Erica was a Canadian, and if we're assuming Marianne's the winner, then we're gonna have two Canadian winners in a row. So I think that's funny how we go from that to not having any Canadians on 41, 43, I mean. And instead we just get two Hawaiians. Like again, people have said like Hawaii is the new Canada. So I think that's a little funny. The cast itself, like it seems pretty cool. I mean, obviously we don't know too much about it. I mean, but we'll obviously learn more as the time goes on. So there's that. Who, in your opinion, was the most screwed and the most deserving elimination of the season? You mean? I think the most screwed I think Jenny was the most screwed over, of the season for me, because obviously the whole reason she goes home is because of the she obviously goes home because of all the twists. I mean, you have Chanel, like, risking her vote for seemingly no reason, and then obviously losing her vote there, but then obviously Mike also loses his vote. But I feel like in a straight up vote, like Lydia goes home in that tribal, so I feel like Jenny gets pretty screwed over there. Um, what the? Can you let me? What the Survivor on YA TV? Uh, I can't show the show on TV, but I mean, there's pretty easy ways you can like find it for yourself, but like I can't actually show it myself. They need to bring back 39 days. Again, I think it's a wash. Like I understand why people are upset by it, but I feel like it's kind of a wash at the end. You don't have cable. Try Google. Maybe you can try Reddit. There are definitely ways you can get around it, but I cannot actually show it myself. Okay. Now it's time to read the vote. Oh, this is where the nervous part begins. Yeah, definitely. All right. Yeah, everyone seems very excited. So, like I said, time to read the votes. Again, my pick is 7-1, with Jonathan being the only vote for Mike, and then everyone else being for Marianne. Well, would you rather Marianne doesn't win? Well, you would find out. All right. First vote, Mike. Marianne. Marianne. Okay, it's over. Wow. All right, so it looks like the vote was 7-1. That's right, back-to-back Canadian winners. So good on Canada. This is so awkward, like the after show. Back-to-back women winners, back-to-back POC winners, back-to-back women winners, Canadian winners. Right? Or be like, okay, we blocking Canada from applying for 43. Yeah, pretty much. It's so funny. Sorry, I was just typing some stuff up. But yes, Marianne has won Survivor. Let's just see. Bring back 39 days. Production definitely made it easy with 26. Terrible look for the show. Mike and Xander both losing in the finale despite being the best players. I mean, I would definitely debate. I would personally debate against Xander being the best player, even in the final three. I mean, I feel like Erica did play saw enough game in the end to even the Sean. I feel like played a better game than Xander. So there's that. As for Mike, I mean, Mike was definitely in the majority for more of the game. And I think I probably would have rated him higher on a winner ranking if he had won than Marianne. But I think the fact that Marianne is able to outplay Mike by the end and win definitely says a lot there. Is it 500K after taxes? I think it's more like 600. Yeah, I don't know the exact tax bracket. I forgot I had cable and I could have just watched it. Not sure if there will be another second chance. I think there could be another second chance. I don't think 44 is going to be returnee, but I could definitely. I think the consensus right now is 46 is like a returnee season. So there's that. Just second black woman. Oh, yeah, it's true. The like first black woman to win since Vesepia. That's a good point. Y'all too hype on Mike and Xander. I understand Mike a bit, but yeah, yeah, that's what I just said. I would do tax evasion for 400,000. Okay. If there was another second chance season, Xander and Mike would sort of be candidates for it. Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think one of them would be on it. Xander the I feel I'd put Marianne right below Sophie as a winner if I was to rank. Honestly, I'd Marianne even lower than that. I mean, because um so the thing about Marianne as a winner, I think the biggest credit you can give Marianne is that she had the Taku 4 at least. I mean, granted, she was sort of the bottom of the Taku 4 for a lot of it, whereas I feel like Omer and Mike were like the center of it. And even Jonathan, I mean, Jonathan at least had some usefulness as like a shield for them. But I feel like Marianne was certainly the bottom of Taku for a lot of the pre-merge, where I feel like if they had gone to tribal before the merge, then I feel like she would have been in danger there. Like I know Jackson talked about in his exit interview how Marianne was certainly at the bottom at the beginning of the game. And yes, while Mariah was voted out first, I mean, I feel like if they had gone back to tribal, I feel like Marianne would have been quite a bit of danger there. So I think that's a knock there. Um, Omer, Lindsay, Jonathan punching the air, wondering what would have happened to Marion went out over Mariah. Yeah, exactly. Um, and just looking here. You hate this season now. Why do you hate this season? Jury perception is reality. Marianne, Chanel, and Tori were all going if their tribe. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, interesting. A lot of people were undecided. Alright. I think this is I think this is definitely one benefit of the after show is that they aren't being affected by they aren't affected as much by watching the TV show. But yeah, they're talking about how a lot of them were undecided coming in the finals. That's interesting. Be a flop. What would you predict of winner of 43? I don't know. Um Again, I really don't know much about these people. I've already forgotten a lot of the cast. I mean, so like I think I'm probably gonna wait until the actual preseason to come out and like actually like listen to like their interviews and stuff before making a winner pick and stuff. Interesting. Well, that's interesting. Like a lot of these people seem to believe Mike played the better game coming in, which again, I understand it. I mean, like I kind of understand like that aspect of it. I although I did think that there definitely would have been quite the issue with him owning his game. Like, and I think that is part of the reason why he lost, and I think that's part of the reason why the edit focused so much on him, like giving his word but then breaking it to sort of foreshadow him eventually losing. I'm scared to go on Reddit because of spoilers, so I just want to wait for creators to cover the cast of BB or Survivor, Amazing Race, etc. Yeah, it's fair. I mean, there's obviously the spoiled Survivor Reddit on top of the regular Survivor Reddit. And I know there's a controversy this season with like this. Apparently, this season was spoiled from pretty early on. And there was like this whole like controversy in Reddit where people would like get spoiled and then post quote unquote predictions on Reddit on the main like Survivor subreddit. So yeah, like, I definitely understand where you're coming from. And from what I'm hearing, like obviously like 43 cast was like leaked by this random source that like wasn't really a factor before. And I think they're even leaking like boot order. Like I think I heard that too. So like obviously like I'm like pretty cautious when it comes to like 43 news. So like I'm trying not to be spoiled myself. Um Is he yeah, that's the stuff I'm hearing. Like I didn't check it for myself, but like from what I'm hearing, like people were picking up on like I guess there was like a pretty accurate boot order from early on. And I think people figured out the Marianne win along with it. I mean, 43 preview confirmed. I mean, it would make sense. I mean, that'd be interesting to see. If you want to watch the season, just watch the last 3 episodes. Everyone's final vote was based off that. I mean, kind of, but obviously, obviously, like the whole thing about Survivor is like you have like the Edgic, and it's like you watch like the whole season, and you start to pick up on storylines, and you start to pick up on certain stuff being included. And I feel like that's definitely something that if you watched the whole season, you would definitely pick up on the Marion win from early on. Like, obviously, you had Marion's big move, but even before that, like, you had like all her entire storyline. You had Mike being set up as a pretty big character. And then obviously, the early merge is when a lot of his backstabbing was happening with like saying you take a bullet for Lydia when he was voting for Chanel based on emotional reasons when he votes out Roxroy after agreeing to that alliance. Like, there's definitely stuff you pick up on through watching a whole season. So I don't necessarily think watching the last 3 episodes is something. If anything, like you watch the last 3 episodes, like you probably think Lindsay has a decent shot just because Lindsay probably has a bigger shot than what you probably would if you had watched the whole thing. Shock someone predicted Jenny's boot. Wow, definitely. Again, I don't know how complete it was. I just know that like people were able to figure out the final three at least. So again, I mean, I could definitely, like, look more into it, but, like, from the stuff I'm hearing, and again, I could be wrong, like, from what I understand, a lot of people figured it out from early on. How does Romeo send Mike to fire because he doesn't think he can beat Mike, but Mike gets 1 vote in the final? Am I missing something? Because he doesn't think I'm guessing he assumed I mean, I guess he was hoping that Jonathan would beat him. I mean we obviously saw Mike get the 1 vote there, but the other thing is that Romeo doesn't win, like, in this scenario. Like, again, his only shot really was the only scenario where I really gave him a shot was, like, in Lindsay, and Mike, I think it is. Yeah, so it was Jonathan, Mike, Romeo. That was, like, the only jury scenario where he had even a remote shot of winning, and I guess he was hoping for that, kind of? But even then, like, he wanted to take Marianne to the end, so it's, like, sort of defeats the whole purpose there. Romeo could have taken Mike to fire. Alright, so now they're just revealing the amulet, twist everyone. I mean, personally, I don't hate the season that much. I mean, I don't really hate any season of the show, to be honest. Um, I mean, there are definitely seasons that aren't fun to watch, or at least not as fun to watch. But this is not the worst season. I mean, it's not a great season. I mean, I feel like the gameplay was very stagnant for a lot of it, but it's not the worst season. There are definitely pros to it. I mean, this is definitely a likable cast. I do like this cast a good amount. And I do like some of the storylines that we got here. Like, I do like Marianne's story throughout the season. I enjoy, like, seeing her edit. Omer was an interesting decoy winner as well. Daniel's rise and fall was something. Again, I'll probably talk about this in the review. There's definitely stuff enjoy about the season, but I don't hate it, but it's not great. So it was almost better for Romeo if, like, Jonathan won immunity and saved Mike, and Romeo beat Marianne and Fire. Yeah, that could have been something. Again, I don't think Romeo was taking putting Marianne in the fire because I assume he didn't want to be against, like, both the quote unquote big guys out there. I think that's something. It's like a San Juan del Sur season for me. I mean, do you like San Juan del Sur? All right, Drea's just sharing what all her advantages was. All right, you do like San Juan del Sur. Yeah, I mean, it's a fine. I think I walk away with it from this being like a fine season. I, it's not the best season, and I would debate 41 being better than it, but it's not terrible. With that said, like, obviously, I hope they make changes. Like, Do or Die needs to die. Hourglass needs to die. Um, I mean, even the Beware advantage, I feel like now that, like, the 43 and 44 caster will know about all these twists, I feel like that definitely will require them to shake things up. Bordering top 20, in my opinion, the Hourglass was I don't know about top 20. Hmm. Oh yeah, knowledge is power. Yeah, that can also go. It's so awkward. Like you see like production people like walking behind him, like carrying all the pizza boxes. Do or die just favorite? Yeah, I caught that. Again, not the best sign. Then again, this was all recorded before 41 aired, and he got to see and they before he saw the reaction. Knowledge's power should be thrown into the fire with Romeo's fake idol. Yeah. Best twist from 41 and 42? Uh, I'd say Shot in the Dark. I mean, I actually like Shot in the Dark. And if I had to pick one twist, from this new era that will come back, for like 43 and onward or future seasons, like I wouldn't mind seeing Shot in the Dark coming back. I mean, obviously we have yet to see it like actually like hit, but honestly, like I think there's enough there between like even like the threat of it coming out and like the need to like blindside people. I think it can definitely lead to like more blindsides. It can lead to more fun moments, I think. Now, who knows? Maybe they bring it back and I change my mind, but I think just comparing to all these twists, I feel like that's probably their best bet. Yeah, I really want Shot in the Dark to work, so they keep it. Honestly, I don't think it needed to hit. I feel like if they are going to bring it back, I don't think it really matters if it worked or not. I feel like it's just a good enough idea on its own to warrant it. I wish it would come out safe. The Shot in the Dark is such a great idea. It encourages blindsides and jury management. Just a fine tier twist. Just hasn't had two outcomes. Remember when they actually hit idols? Uh, I mean, they technically still hide idols. What do we have here? Almost can reduce pagonging, Shot in the Dark. I mean, we didn't really have a pagonging in either season. Like, I mean, yeah, in 41, you kind of had one with Yasa, but even then, like, I wouldn't. Yeah, like, but even then, like, I got that in the Xander, and I mean, yeah, like you knew that group was going to just flip on each other. And 42, yeah, 42 didn't really have one either. I mean, I guess Lydia and Chanel, but even then, like, it wasn't because they were Vati. Like, I don't think Vati was a super stable tribe there. So I think there's that. Um, this game, um, Tori lied about being 50-50. She was 100% Marianne coming in. She's still lying. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I could see Tori always being all in Marianne. If I go on Survivor, I'm looking no further than the walking path to the well. Yeah. I mean, you don't wanna be the guy that looks for an idol on day 1, that's for sure. This game has gotten to the point where Romeo actually thinks he has a shot at winning. I mean, there's a lot of people who have think they have a shot at winning, but they don't. Yep, especially if it's just 26 days, you bound to find the idol just walking and not moving anything. That might be able to start a game. Uh-huh. Another vote that Mike controlled. Yeah. Yeah, he did kind of control the vote. Yeah, things are starting to slow down a bit. I mean, yeah, we'll see if anything else comes out from this after show. All right, we're back. Mike played a great game, but just didn't own it at the end. Sad. Yeah, I think I think hearing that definitely changes stuff. I mean, I guess we can hear more about the exit interviews afterwards. But yeah, I mean, just on the offset, it sounds like they were willing to vote for Mike, even though he was unwilling to own his game. And I think Mike was definitely he definitely has plenty of pros for his game. Like he wasn't the majority for a lot of it. And he definitely got along with a lot of people socially to where he was never really targeted at any point, which is pretty impressive. And he wasn't really seen as a goat either. I mean, yes, he doesn't really do anything that makes him stand out from being the puppet, but yeah, like it was just him not owning up to his game. So I feel like that definitely came back to bite him at the end. Still shocks me that Heather from 41 could be a potential star winner in a Heather Deshaun Xander scenario. Yeah, that was crazy. They're trying to sell 26 Days to me, and I'm still not buying it. Finding idols that easy shouldn't be part of the game. Yeah, yeah, I could feel that. Unpopular opinion, I didn't get the Lindsay hype. I mean, I think I think part of the reason why people were seeing Lindsay as a winner early on was I think it was a reaction to Erica. Like I think they were looking for like this under the radar female winner. Yeah, she was the Erica edit in a sense. She's not really the Erica edit because Erica at least had the storyline early on of like being this lamb that's going to turn into a lion. Like we have that explanation in episode 4 of her strategy of her to lay back and to deliberately not be a big factor in the game. And that plays on the edit where she doesn't like play that much of a factor. That and also Luvu just was under edited in general. But Lindsay didn't really have like much of a storyline. Yeah, she was I felt like she was probably the least remarkable character of the Taku 4 and was certainly like the one that had the least amount of a storyline. Had the least definition. Because Omer, of course, had a very typical winner edit. And then Jonathan like had a decent storyline for himself of him being this physical guy and him wanting to be of service to his tribe. And of course, Marianne was Marianne, so that basically left Lindsay as like, yeah, she was getting some content here or there, but it's like she wasn't really getting a storyline. And I feel like her personal content just wasn't as significant as it was for others. So even then, like she wasn't that much like Erica, but people just saw the similarity of her just being relatively hidden in the edit, and they probably just applied that onto Lindsay, even though it wasn't really a good fit there. And obviously, Lindsay didn't win the season, so I think that was a big reason why people were latching on to Lindsay. I actually thought she could have been a merge boo at the time. I felt like she had more similarities to a Sydney edit, where it's like she was getting content, consistent content, somewhat speaking, but not really anything with any purpose. Like that was the thing about Sydney is that she was getting like content every episode, but it's like didn't have any purpose behind it, and not obviously made it pretty clear that she was being set up as someone that was going to be like a big surprising boot at the merge, and obviously that's ended up what happening. I felt like that was more likely to be Lindsay's fate in the game than anything else. When obviously she survives it, good on her. But obviously Lydia ended up going out instead, so there's that. I feel Lindsay was doing stuff. Yeah, like Lindsay was very much involved in the game. Like she was part of the Taku 4. It's just that she wasn't getting much content to really back that up. But the producers maybe didn't know what to do with her. Yeah, that could be true. She is like the least notable person at that Taku 4. Because everyone else had just more going for them than anything else. I expected Tori or Lindsay to be the merch boot. Yep, pretty much. Like, yeah, that's what I was thinking at the time too. Again, I ended up being wrong, but like it is what it is. Yeah, just bring in more food. Just give it this preview. All right. All right. But yeah, while we're here, I can guess I can talk about like rankings and stuff. So I think Marianne's not like a great winner by any means. Again, I think her biggest credit is that she was at least in the Taku 4, albeit at the bottom. I think she's better than Michelle because she was never targeted directly in the post merge. I mean, obviously she was in some danger pre-merge, but I feel like post-merge, like she was kind of there. She was able to like skate on by, albeit as an underdog. I hope 43 has a trade swap to spice things up. I mean, yeah. I mean, the fact that they didn't have swaps in 41 and 42 is kind of dumb, but it's a new era. Yeah, Marianne will be interesting to assess. She obviously has the move of blindsiding Omer and then generally being in a good enough position at the end to where she should have been pretty safe, kind of like Erica. So I feel like her game is kind of similar to Erica's in a way. But obviously, the thing about Marianne is that Marianne does at least have that one big move in blindsiding Omer. Erica doesn't really have one big move, but she was generally in the majority from the Shamboot on. So I feel like there's a lot of similarities between Marianne and Erica in terms of the games they played. So I feel like that'll be interesting to compare, but obviously time will tell. She wants in the big alliance, but come on, she was. Nah, the Lindsay hype was real. Yeah, she was great challenges, but she was so blind at going after Jonathan so many times. Oh, we're already back from commercial. So so let's see. We also have Mike and Romeo, who are the runners up. Romeo Romeo definitely was in the majority. Romeo's a weird game because I feel like his game I don't know. I guess Sherry is the first one to come to mind when I think of Romeo. Like someone who had some control, a decent amount of control, like the first half of the game. But then once the merch hits, they have very little control or the rest of the game. I think that's an apt comparison, but obviously, like, like this just my immediate reaction. Mike, Mike played a pretty good game, I think. Again, I think I don't know. I'm thinking about who to compare him to. Again, he was in the majority for most of the game. He did lose out on the Jenny vote, but that was due to twists more than anything else. And then at the merge, like he was in the majority alliance, but he wasn't like in the driver's seat. But he was never being targeted either. And yes, while he is behind some of these moves, like and he talks a lot about being a puppet and he's doing to lower his threat level, he's doing it in a way that hurts his jury perception, really harms his chances of winning the game. Oh god, not Sherry, you doing Romeo dirty now, but I see it. I mean, I feel like that's the closest comparison I can think of. I mean, granted, I think I think Romeo had less control in the pre-merge than Sherry did, but I don't know. He might be a slight. I don't know. Is he worse than Sherry? I don't know. I think I guess I just need to think more about the pre-merge. Like, how much control did he really have? Because I think when I think of the pre-merge on Ika, like I think Drea was like the leader figure, and Romeo was someone who wasn't the majority, but like didn't dictate every vote per se. I mean, yeah, like he was technically on the in for like the Swati vote, but he didn't get what he wanted during the Zach vote, really. But like he did fine enough in the pre-merge, and then in the post-merge, he was just left out of the loop over and over again. And a lot of that was his own doing. Like I feel like Cherry, like when she got to the post-merge, like I mean, she was just getting outplayed by like like Cochran and Dawn and stuff. But I feel like with Romeo, like he didn't really have that much control. Like he obviously voted incorrectly multiple times. Like genuinely because I feel like he was just let out of the loop. I mean, yeah, he did throw that hinky vote like at that tribal. So yeah, I was just thinking about that. And then Jonathan is like a final juror. I mean, he's fine. Like I wouldn't call him like a great final juror, but like he was in the majority for a good chunk of it. And despite him being like this big threat for a lot of it, I mean, he wasn't really being voted out in a lot of scenarios. Like it's not like he needed to go on an immunity run or anything. Like he didn't win that many immunities, but like he was able to get to the final four at least. So there's that at least. But then again, he doesn't win, so that's sort of hard to say. So we'll see. I mean, obviously, I have like a little over a week to put together the player rankings. So I'll have to think about it some more. But like those are just some of my general thoughts. So like the game would be different if Lindsay used the idol on Omer Final Six. Yeah, definitely. Like it still blows my mind like why she didn't play the idol. Yeah, just insane. Like why didn't she play the idol? All right. Are we getting this preview or what? Romeo goes out at 6, maybe Jonathan at 5 since Lindsay tunnel vision. Are we getting this preview? Is it Geo? Is it Noel? It's Mike. Oh, good night. Good night, Lando. Thanks for joining us. Oh, interesting logo. Like an octopus. Oh, it's a squid? Interesting. All right. Okay. All right. So that was the finale. All right. That was a pretty interesting. But yeah, I mean that was a good. That was a pretty fun experience walking through this finale. Like again, not as explosive as the BB Can one, where I was literally thrown off guard by what happened. I mean, this was definitely more straightforward, in terms of what I was expecting to happen versus what did. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad I had the chance to do this. Like, I mean, like in terms of me like being able to street live stream my reactions, like it was definitely worthwhile. So there's that. But yeah, I'm probably gonna be signing off in a minute. Before I do, like I'll just quickly like say that I have the review coming out on Friday. So there's that. Monday is the Circle review, season 4 review. So stay tuned for that. Um, I haven't decided if I'm gonna do a Wednesday video yet because I definitely do have some video ideas that I want to do. Like, and obviously with the off season coming off, like I definitely want to do that, but I also like want to like do those in a way to where I don't want to like overload the schedule or anything, especially when I don't need to, like with there not being as many shows on. So that's something to take into account. And then, like, I mean, I guess like next Friday is gonna be the Survivor 42 player ranking. Monday after that's gonna be the Circle player ranking, probably. Maybe sprinkle in some Circle videos thereafter, and then some brand seals as well. So I definitely do have some stuff planned for the future. Like, so that should all be pretty interesting. And again, like I'm glad like the people here could join us, like this evening. I mean, I enjoyed doing this and I know there'll be plenty of fun to do. So thank you again for joining. But for now, that is the video. See ya.